Hello, hello, hello,
Good morning. How
hello.
are you?
I'm glowing.
Yeah, you are. It's been a minute.
I think that's okay. I've
Yeah,
been
we.
reading a lot about oversaturation in marketing and
Mm,
communication and social media, and I'm grateful for the break. I've focused on content, which I think is a more important thing for me to do because I've never done it before.
so real. I've been working on my portfolio, but on the case studies and what they actually say. And I'm like, I hope no one ever reads these, but also I need them to. And it's
The
a
interesting
focus on all that, personalized content. It's just hard.
They do read them.
Yeah.
People do read them. Um, I have been playing with my voice. I get a lot of comments from the people that do hit me up, and they're like, the way that you authored your cover letter or your pitch or whatever was so unique. And then you talk to me and you realize that it's my actual voice. It's actually how I communicate. And
Right.
then I think it's refreshing. So I think when you're doing the copy, it's important to maintain your level of wit and, you know, sarcasm. And for me, it's my
Yeah.
gentle enabling softness, but I'm succinct. Keeping all that together, I think is hella important.
That's hard for me because my problem with professional writing is oh, I can't use my voice because my voice isn't professional. So then how do I make it more professional, but also I'm a witty person that whatever, but is that important when I'm trying to tell you about the research that we did for building this design system and all of our user needs. Eh, eh. It's hard. It's hard. I'm jealous of copywriters that can just you guys.
Navigate,
Yeah.
right? And so I have a brand voice guide for Joy. I have a brand voice guide for the studio.
Does that help you, you think? I mean,
Oh
why
yeah.
would you need a guide if you're just talking to yourself? Or
Because
not to yourself because it's
sometimes I need sometimes I need a, let's say for example I need a synonym.
mm,
I can go back to my brand guide and say, what kind of synonym do I need? I need it to be more
mm,
declarative. And then I can go find that synonym because I already have those keywords, the elements of my voice that are consistent throughout. But I say it to say there are two different guides. There's one that's Joy, and there's
mm-hmm.
one that's the studio. There's one that's I that says yo and greetings earthlings and let's get to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the studio is kind of what we were talking about with the business cards earlier, we're award winning, ass kicking, right? So they are very different voices, and they're they're relatable and not stuck up. They're professional, but they're not pretentious. They're
Mm-hmm.
funny, but they're not conservative. So, but yeah, so I do think that you can leverage it. And I would try to just sprinkle it in there. 10%, no
Mm-hmm.
more than 10 to 20% to include your wit. And I think it's important for you to start to collect design jokes. You're on Twitter a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
And weaving those. I don't do design jokes as much as I do developer jokes. So I have a lot of jokes that are related to like code and syntax and that sort of thing. And I like my wit plays into that because I'm, you know, my design stack is really just a necessity. I wish I could just be coding, right? So yeah, I think it's important to have the guide. It also gives you the ability to grow. You will not be working in a silo alone forever.
That's fair. That's true. And I think so. Like with professional writing and stuff, I've always used tools like Grammarly to help with voice and stuff like that. Like even like back in school, just with like finding synonyms for things and like rewording stuff. And now with AI, with like Claude, it's like so easy to just like, Claude, here's an outline of everything that I did. Can you make this sound professional? Like, because you're still
love Claude's voice.
It does sound a little generic. I find myself having to rework a lot of stuff.
There's constant exclamation points. There's also a pattern that Claude speaks in when it's marketing communications, where there's like a pattern of like, I find a lot of exclamation points, which when a human is reading it, the voice goes up in your mind, right? When you actually reading when you're reading something that ends in an exclamation point, your voice gets higher toward the end of it in your head.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I also don't like Claude has like a question and answer format. So like if you're trying to present yourself, it'll be like, do you need this? And then it tries to answer it. And I think that's a little salesy. Kind of feels like, no shade to car salesmen, but it kind of feels kind of like cliche and fluff and salesy. So
yeah, no, that's so fair.
I use Claude now mainly for creating guidelines for things, code. Sometimes I ask Claude for synonyms, and then it's tags and hashtags. It's tags and hashtags that Claude is really great at, because I could say so all my copy starts as a voice note. The voice gets transcribed, and then I'll go to Claude and be like, give me the relevant hashtags for this block of 200 words, and I need it for Instagram, Threads, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. And Claude will go and find the relevant hashtags for those specific social networks, and then kind of also superimpose it into my copy without really touching my vibe. Yes, I want it to be grammatically correct, but I think Claude's voice and ChatGPT's voice is very easy to spot.
So I noticed you said that you use Claude for coding, and I've heard before that a lot of people don't actually like Claude for code. That people like ChatGPT, but have you tried Cursor AI?
I haven't tried Cursor yet.
Specifically for code.
It's on my list. I am not doing dev heavy coding. So when I am doing PHP coding, so when I'm writing plugins, for example, I just did a single blog post page. In my single blog post page, I have reading time. I added breadcrumbs. I have a next and last post sort of situation. That PHP I absolutely wrote in ChatGPT. But once I started cleaning up the CSS and deciding on some interactive elements, it was easier to have that discussion with Claude. So Claude for me on the creative end is the best. Not to mention in Claude, I have projects. So there's a project for, video content creation. There's a project for ReStudio and doing local outreach. So with the projects, your projects have project knowledge. And so Claude does a really good job of like assimilating what I need in code, plus my design, plus images I've uploaded, right? To give me content for web pages. But yeah, I gotta try Cursor. I watched some really good videos on YouTube from the CEO of Gumroad, and he was kind of showing how, like, so long as you have a brand guide and you understand prompts, you're like a 10 times engineer. Skipping all the steps in the middle and just focusing on having a strong component library, strong branding, and just jumping into code and then iterating from there. And that's kind of like where my mind has been more recently. Like, I use Figma to create social cards, right? And like, I have always just devved right in my IDE, like in my browser, but now it's like even easier.
When you say social cards, what exactly are you talking about? Like,
so anytime that I do content, I need cover art for that content on every single network. So
right.
YouTube has a aspect ratio. Twitter has a different aspect ratio. For
Yeah, it's annoying.
Some networks are 4:3, some are 16:9, some are 9:16. Portrait, landscape. Some have more than one. If it's a video, the video might have a thumbnail. So creating all of those is easy to do in Figma because of components. And I can just reuse the same components, and I have the different sizes of all the different kind of like social media. It's like cover art cards that I need.
Slay.
What are we gonna do today? We should talk about the WPEngine drama a little bit, and then I'm gonna work on an FAQ section. I'm gonna be doing some CSS for that, like in the background. If at any point you want to share something on the web, let me know. Do you want me to take a look at your Webflow while we're?
Oh, I'm working on the back end of that right now.
The
putting stuff into the CM.
Austen backend.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's not like oh, you're talking about to like view. Yeah, let me show you what I'm working on staging wise. Can I just share my screen?
You can't, but you can send me a link. I don't have a scene for your screen share, and I lost you randomly. All right, let's try to get Jay back. Hold on, y'all. Welcome back. Hi.
I don't know what happened.
That's okay. I was going to, so let me get you back. You should be on the stream now. And then I am going to, I was saying, share the URL with me. I don't have a scene for your desk.
Oh, well, I can share the URL, but I won't be able to show you like what I'm working on in the CMS. If I do that.
Hold on one second. I have something playing. This one. Hold on. My bad. Okay. What did you say? I lost you for 2 seconds.
I said that you can look at my staging, but you won't be able to see what I've been working on because that's in the CMS, but we can kind of do it.
So I absolutely promise to create a scene with your desktop after we're done with this stream. And I do have so I am looking at your staging. Your selective work section at the top, clutch. Is it okay for me to share this or not yet?
Yeah, go for it. So yeah. I can kind of walk you through like what I've been working on. So, okay. And if you want, you can compare it to my live site.
All right, let's do that. We can do that. That's not hard. That's not hard. right. So this is your selected work. Did you have this section before, or was it just a stack? Wasn't it
So
just a
I
grid before?
did. So I sent you my original site, and I have updated that a little bit, but I had a selected work section and then a case studies section.
Mm-hmm.
And originally my case studies were where the selected work is.
That I remember.
But I think that was really confusing for users because I would have people come to my site and they'd be like, "Do you have anything that's not brand from your gallery? I always see as brand work." And I'm like, "Oh, that's because my gallery is brand work and then my product work is the extended case studies," and people weren't like finding the case studies. So, to solve that, I went and are you sharing screen yet?
I am.
It is
Let me make
not in
sure.
Streamlabs.
Yep. Give me a sec. I'm sharing my main display. It should come through now. Can you see it?
I can see you want to build something cool.
Oh, no.
It's like the She Does project.
Oh, it shouldn't be, but give me a sec. Let's take a look at my desk here. You may be able to see it now. How about
We
that?
definitely used to have a scene that had my desktop because Elixir.
No, we didn't. We did a share from your, we did a FaceTime share from your tablet. And then when we were in Figma, I just followed you in Figma. I've never actually shared your desktop directly.
Okay.
So on the stream right now, I already kind of like, I was going down on my own without you. Now I'm sharing it on the stream, so you should be able to
You
see
can
it.
kind of see it. I'm going to show you what it looks like on the stream because it's not what you want it to look like.
Okay. And then I'm gonna
Thanks
also
for bearing with our technical difficulties, friends. Appreciate you. But anyway, so working on adding this section and just kind of cleaning it up, making, and then also cleaning up my showcase page. So basically on my actual showcase page, I had it where all of the work went full width all the way across and was right next to each other in this like little grid full screen thing. And it's pretty and it fills up your screen, but I don't know if it's the best user experience.
Did you want me to pull that open on the old one?
Yeah, if you would
compare?
like to.
All right, cool. Right.
So I will say it's showing like the middle of your screen in the scenes.
That's on mobile. Yeah, you could see the full with desktop on desktop. So on like touch, you could see the desktop, but on mobile, you know, I could make it smaller.
Yeah.
But
like see how like those words in the case study at the bottom like kind of get cut off, and like this stretch that goes like there's just like a lot of like tiny errors that I needed to correct. And so in the staging, and it's sort of corrected, I have built everything to be like cards.
Way cleaner.
Yeah, so that would be the staging link if you wanted to switch over.
I did. Let's give it a couple seconds to load. So right now I'm looking at the showcase on staging. And I love that you have the motion animation GIF. I just got into doing GIFs. I did it for the prototype animation on Talktastic, and I'm so glad I did.
I haven't figured out how to like, I don't know, present more motion. So I just have this one thing that I made in Procreate. But it's mainly just because I do a lot more web and stuff. But even in web, you have micro interactions.
For sure.
So definitely something that I need to do. But I haven't figured out how to affect the sort order. Like, I know I can do it like based on published on or whatever, but I I keep editing all of them at once, and so the newest ones are at the bottom. My older ones I'm working on now. So I've got to figure that out so that I can kind of like dictate the sort order, because I think my best work at the moment is on the bottom of this page. It's kind of in reverse order. So
That's frustrating. It definitely should be manual.
yeah.
Yeah. It definitely should be
Yeah.
manual.
And then I've just been working on these case studies. So, like, writing out all of the content and making sure that it makes sense, highlighting the usability testing, the
Which one did you start
accessibility.
playing with?
Well, I started with, at the very bottom, the design systems and UX, the DVT Labs
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I don't have any pictures throughout it yet because I was just focusing on the content. But
I would like to maybe see. It is not clear to me who the company is,
yeah, and that was on purpose.
which is fine. But when you said it to me
Um,
just now, I wasn't sure which one. I
oh,
just clicked on the bottom one. So
yeah, the
just
design systems and UX is the one I've been working
keep
on.
keep that in mind if you're doing a presentation to mention
Mm,
the title that you have here. Um, you
yeah,
can also number
maybe.
them.
Yeah, I think maybe what I'll do is like in tiny text, like italicized or something, put the name of the company in that card. So that it's at least like there. Um, but I just didn't find it important because I felt like if they're coming to my site, they're wanting to see more like examples of what the work type is. They don't necessarily need to know who the brand I worked for is. They just need to see
Right.
the work.
Right.
Um, so that's why I did what I did. But I can see how that's confusing. So thank you. That's
Yeah.
valuable feedback.
Yeah, just for communication, because there's never gonna be a prospect call where you're not navigating them through something. That's the goal. The goal is that the goal is that you present, but if you're on a call, you might just be talking and telling them where to go. And so it
That's so
needs to be
fair.
clear where things are. Like I said, you can number it. You can also just number them, or give them a letter or something like that, and then say, project A, project B, project C, and then it's simple. But this looks very clean. I also love that you moved from the dark background to the white background. I think I'd mentioned to you that there's a couple clients that I've been working with, and we've been playing with that. Not only like doing browser aware dark mode, but then also flipping, whether it's
Mm.
just on the hero or just the header, flipping from dark to light as you go to different pages. It gives you
Yeah.
some. It's refreshing, maintaining the brand but changing the background.
I don't know if it will annoy users. That's what I'm worried about. It's mainly just because um like
I love this
it can be hard to
white
switch
paint.
from black to white. And I have friends who, like, one of my friends can't read white text on black backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
So um that makes me almost want to do like a browser aware thing similar to what you have, or it's like a light and dark version, but I don't know if the work will be as vibrant or show up as well on the black.
You
But
can, so I think there's always three options. There's I mean, I've seen some cool things where people just select a color point and it kind of changes the whole thing to that color point, because depending on where your color blindness is, there's certain colors that you're sensitive to. But for me, I would want to have three. So light mode, dark mode, and then like our brand mode. You usually tend to, even if it's on a dark mode page, sometimes you have rows that have call outs that are white, right, on a dark page, or lighter. And so it's also about figuring out what those rows are going to be, right, in light and dark mode. But yeah, I think, at minimum, having the two is great. You can keep the hero the same. So you can keep the hero the same across all pages, and then the body you can shift between light and dark, because the selective work 1,000% looks better because of how colorful it is on the white background. Hands down. Hands down. So I love it. Great. It's a great vibe. I hope you're proud of it. And
I am. I mean, it's minor but necessary improvements, and I just need to add back in all the images once I get the content down. Because I am missing a lot of like imagery. Like if you click in on like the locality case study, like that would be the one that's the blue little GPS logo. It used to have a lot more pictures that showed process, and I just need to like add those back in.
The font took a minute to load when I opened this page, so you may need to keep that in mind with the custom font that you're loading. It may need I don't know if it's on a CDN or what, but it may need another, and it may need some optimization.
Interesting. It's a Google font, so
even those, maybe you're loading more of the font weights than you need. How many font weights are you using? Do you
just
know?
one, the
Just
regular.
one. Just the dark. Yeah, this dark. Yeah, it gave it. It should have already been loaded because I'm already here and here. But when I open that one, so it might not even be that page. It might be something else on this page that might be heavy. Nope, I don't know. But it took a minute to load, so that was weird. All right, cool. I'm gonna pull back for a minute. I absolutely have to do an FAQ toggle and write some CSS for that. So I'm gonna switch gears. I'm gonna leave you on this screen for a second, and then I'm gonna actually leave it on your selected work page. I really love that. And I'm just gonna kind of like multitask and start to clean up this FAQ page in a separate screen. I hope that is okay.
Yeah.
I'll just leave you on the main. Perfect. All right. And then we can talk a little bit about the WordPress drama. It's interesting that I'm getting so many tweets and DMs about it. My clients don't seem to be too worried, although I sent out a blast to them. So I wrote a blog post about what was going on. And so for anybody who's listening that is not aware, WordPress is feeling a little frustrated and pinched at how WPEngine is marketing themselves, and is voicing that there's a little bit of a trademark infringement on the way WPEngine promotes themselves and their services, and people are confused, whether or not WPEngine is actually owned by WordPress. WPEngine also owns Flywheel, so they're really, really well respected host. And I have a dozen clients that have WPEngine websites, so the solvency of the company matters to me specifically, but I understand WP Org's point of view. They also feel as if WPEngine is straining the resources of this open source platform that WordPress is paying for and supporting and not contributing. And so there's been kind of like an interesting back and forth where WordPress and the owner, Matt, had been trying to go back and forth with WPEngine to find common ground, and it kind of met a head last week, and WordPress, in what seemed to be a very random and sporadic way, decided to cut WPEngine off of services. I believe that was last Thursday. We dropped a blog post, I believe on Friday, might have gone out on Saturday, to just let everybody know that we think this is just something that's going to be resolved, and we didn't want anybody to like hastily run away from WPEngine, but if they did that, we would migrate them. And then I think that WordPress and Matt was feeling some of the stress of how affected the community was with this abrupt kind of pause in services. And so WordPress decided to give WPEngine a reprieve up until October 1st, which is it tomorrow? To give them an opportunity to, allow users to update their plugins. I believe WordPress is also trying to push WPEngine to mirror, I don't know if it's mirror the server or also, offer the plugins or some of the updates and kind of offload some of the strain that it's putting on WordPress's servers. So it's been an interesting kind of back and forth. I don't know if you know, Jay, but I think WordPress backs something like 65% of the web and is responsible for something like 40% of all the websites on the web. So this affects 1/3 of all business owners globally, and it definitely is a big impact and a big change. And so it's been wild. I think the most enlightening thing that I got to watch over the weekend was Matt was with a vlogger. I think his name is D3, and he had done kind of like a one-on-one 2-hour live stream, and they kind of talked in depth about the impact on the community. And I hate that I'm like fumbling the streamer's name. I don't know if it's D3 or Z3. But it was interesting to see someone kind of like be really direct with Matt about how much this was an impact on the community, and kind of like feedback from the tech and design community about what we would want to see happen, even if there's an issue like this where there's a trademark violation, to kind of stop the community from being so affected. So have you ever done any work on WordPress, Jay, or you've only been like on Webflow? Did I lose you, my love? Let's see if we can get you back. There you
go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Say it again.
Okay. Yeah, so all of the websites at Armature Works, all of the restaurants there and their subsidiaries were originally run on WordPress. And then while I was there, the marketing director made like a deal to migrate all of the sites out of WordPress and into a kind of expensive, bloated, but pretty site thing where they do all of your design for you kind of situation called Bento Box that specifically is geared towards making restaurant websites.
Okay. Did I lose you again? Your Wi-Fi is giving me some trouble today, my love. All right, let's give Jay a quick second. Oh, there they go.
I don't know what's happening. You can hear me, right?
I can hear you now. Welcome back. I lost you twice and was kind of able to get you back mid-sentence, but you're back now. So you were saying Armature Works moved into Bento.
Yeah, to Bento Box. And so we would do like design reviews and stuff with them. And I think ultimately that was good. Bento Box is made so that it's supposed to be easier for restaurant owners to like update their menus and stuff like that. I was not around for a completed site, so I didn't actually get to see the back end of the CMS. But I will say that WordPress and like running the restaurant websites on WordPress was definitely a mess, because they, and I don't know if this was because of the contract, like the who they hired or like whatever, but they had it so that all of the menus, we would just upload a new menu, like a PDF anytime the menu was updated. And I think the problem with this is like it's so annoying to like download a PDF to your iPhone, then go to your folder to open it up and then look at it, and you have to zoom in and scroll and stuff. And so that's what they were trying to mitigate with switching to Bento Box. But
it definitely sounds like either a cost savings or a choice with whoever their service provider was, because any menus that we've ever done here, and we did one for like a vegan baker, we've done one for a juice bar, we tend to do accordions, and then each of the accordions are on tables, with kind of ellipsis eliminated, and then you have the pricing, and then those may hyperlink and add products to cart if it makes sense to do it from there. But it just, it's a couple extra days of dev time, so maybe they just didn't
because I was like
that kind of support.
The only designer across like 30 different brands, and then they would contract out a lot of the web design work because I was mainly graphic design there.
Yeah.
So if it was up to me, I would have immediately accordions or something. But I think the other problem with it was that menus would change for like almost every restaurant. Like every week they would like run out of an ingredient and need to remove like change the description on an item or whatever. And so it was just like constant updates. And so someone would need to be trained in going and updating the back end of the CMS, specifically like how to do menu updates if they had stayed in WordPress, but they did not. They moved out. So that's my main experience with WordPress. Various clients, but
so it's interesting because initially it was the blogging community that embraced WordPress, right? And then devs really jumped onto it because it's built with MySQL and PHP is a really, really scalable database platform, and it's very powerful. And what I realized kind of like a decade ago was that I really hated the WordPress admin interface. And so I devoted a year to redesigning that admin interface, changing the type, changing the iconography, hiding things that I just think people usually don't use, like the regular everyday average person doesn't use. And then I'm writing plugins for it all the time for little things that I need. But I also am using Visual Composer, which is a drag and drop editor, similar to what you would experience with Webflow or Framer or Bento Box, where you literally just grab different elements and drag them and type right in your browser. And so I think that there's a lot of companies, agencies, studios, designers and developers who have realized that and made the barrier for entry and training into WordPress, kind of lowered that barrier. But that is a very recent development. And so, if you're an agency and you're outsourcing a bunch of different devs to Frankenstein things together, then you're not going to be offering those type of solutions. But I think there are some businesses that WordPress just works better for and is scalable for. I do need to spend some time with you on Webflow and see how that's changed over the course of the past year. I love the micro animations on Framer.
Yeah. Yo, anytime, like I've been watching a bunch of Framer how-to videos. I haven't actually used Framer yet, but it just seems so simple and like very like it looks like the Figma UI. And it seems to have an infinite canvas. I don't know why you would need an infinite canvas, because it wants you to drop in the different sizes of like tablet, mobile, and whatever, and you just tell it, this is my tablet, it just seems very intuitive, but also like the Wild West. Like that, it gives everyone so much creative control, whereas like Webflow's like, click this button for this size and we'll give you 7 different responsive sizes. And I just think that it's a little less chaotic, but maybe that's just because I know how to use Webflow.
You said Webflow gives you 7?
Yeah. Okay. So it's like big desktop, medium desktop, or like large MacBook, like you've got your TV size, and then like a MacBook Air kind of situation. That's probably your basic, and then you've got your tablet and your mobile landscape and your mobile vertical, horizontal, landscape. I don't remember. Portrait mode, mobile. And yeah.
So yeah, I would love to kind of explore. I think we should deep dive as noobs and explore Framer together.
Yes.
And then I promise you this evening I will absolutely positively add a scene. We'll get a scene of your desktop in here, and then you can show us some behind the scenes of
I can show you like the CMS and how we update it. Yeah, I would absolutely love to do that.
Really legit. Really, really legit, and I think helpful. There isn't a platform that has ever been presented to me by a client or a boss or a company that I have not just embraced. Like down to like at some point I was like, I inherited a .NET Nuke site. We had a few thousand pages, and I just like printed out literally the entire manual and put it into a binder and read it end to end. So I definitely would love to play in that sandbox too, for sure.
I forgot that I'd set a Pomodoro timer for our stream, 45 minutes, because you said you didn't have a full hour, and it just went off.
Thank you. I'm gonna run for another 20 minutes, maybe, if you can.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get. I'll share my screen. I just opened up the little FAQ box that I was playing around with.
Let's
And
see it, baby.
it's not too magical. It's just here.
You're magical, therefore it's magical.
Let's see, main display. I'll kind of move it over a little bit here on the stream. I'm moving it on the mobile side so we can get to the left of my viewport. So yeah, I have this relatively simple FAQ accordion, and I want to do two things. I want to move the plus icon to be before instead of after the text. And then I want to save this. I'm probably going to resize it a little bit on mobile, write some CSS for that. And then I am going to save this preset and then drop it on, there's like 3 other pages that I have the FAQ right now. So I need to drop it on those 3 pages. And then I also need to drop a FAQ page. I've actually already authored my FAQs. They're like 12 deep.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to get that rolling today. I think adding that to my contact page is a good idea as well. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Not very glamorous. And I am doing what Matt would call is div hunting to figure out the best way to move this icon around. So that's why I say it's not so glamorous, because it's just an icon. It's just an icon, and I'm not sharing the boring CSS on it either. So anyway, I'm happy that we're both at this point where we're doing all of this like website work.
Yeah, definitely necessary.
It is rare. I can probably get away with a float on this. It is, because I don't want to change the markup. It is rare that you and I are working on the same thing the same type of thing at the same time.
Truly.
Yep.
I'm having an issue, and I don't really know why, but the body copy is just being annoying. And like on my case study itself, like the anytime it's a bulleted list, it is a slightly larger font size than when it's just regular body copy. And I've set the body copy size, I've set the rich text size, like nothing is changing it.
The bulleted list is ULLI. So UL is the container around the list, and then LI is each of those list items. And
yeah,
so
this doesn't really help me though, because it's inside a rich text block.
That shouldn't matter. Is there any place where you can drop custom CSS? Because as long as you call the LI class, you should be able to resize it.
Nope. It's just kind of a mess. Doesn't make any sense. It's not working.
Lists are usually always called separately in themes. And so like for example, like this accordion, I believe that these are not lists. Are these lists? No, these are all individual ones. But yeah, usually lists are called different and kind of like basic themes. So you the only way to fix it is to Either if in your theme settings, there's a way to go in and specify the list design. If not, then you have to do it with CSS, and it would.
I think I got it.
Okay, good. I could write that for you really easily.
If
you needed it.
No, it's working now.
Amazing. Here. We are productive as fuck.
We are.
I feel like I should probably really quickly check in with one person about WPEngine now that I'm thinking about it. Because we only have until midnight. Actually, I don't know if I should just send an email blast. I wonder if there are any updates. And it's crazy that you also can't rely on either of these companies' websites for a single source of truth. In order to know what's going on, you got to go on Twitter. You got to look at Matt's account. You got to look at, like, there's a head of is it WordPress relations over at WPEngine. You got to look at his Twitter. And that's the only way to, like, know what's happening. All right. So I'll do that and write this code at the same time. If you could work on anything right now with no limits, it's something that I've lovingly been calling passion posting. So if you could work on anything and kind of do a passion project that wasn't connected to a bag, what would you work on?
Dude, I've been saying for years that I really want to make a tarot deck, and I still do.
I once gifted someone really close to me a tarot deck from the Dolly Museum. And it's fucking fire.
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some of the most beautiful ones, like, on earth. I think that would be a vibe for you. Like, I would love to see you do, other than the merch for your podcast, I'd love to see you do merch that is in line with that's just in line with your brand, you know? That can also kind of live on your website and be in line with, you know, your twitchy witchy gothic aesthetic.
Oh my gothic aesthetic.
I'm always anytime that I try to work with Claude on copy, they constantly want to put the word, like, wizard. They constantly want to put the word,
oh my god, it's so annoying.
Like, do not call me a fucking web wizard or a sorcerer.
Anytime I'm like, be more witty, it's like funny corporate and like the worst really way, and it's so cringe. I'm like, Claude, you sound like a 35-year-old millennial aunt trying to talk to Gen Z, and I need you to chill. So, slay.
And you can actually, like, say that to Claude.
You can, and I will. usually I'll be like, Claude, I need this to be more professional. I need this to be more chill. Can you be better?
I've replied, absolutely not. Like, didn't I say no exclamation points? And Claude is like, I'm so sorry. That was an
Yo,
oversight.
Claude apologizes to me constantly. I'm like, look, baby girl, I know it's not your fault. Don't worry about it. I'm glad that we're streaming. I don't think we tweeted that we were streaming though. So I don't know if anyone actually is watching this.
I'm not, so it's going to be such a short stream. It's going to take an hour to get people to kind of join anyway. So I wasn't really focused on promo. I was just focused on productivity. I'm streaming really just to hang with you.
Hell yeah.
So I don't even know, like, I didn't even log into Twitter. I don't even know if it was live there. I know you said it wasn't live earlier. I see, like, I haven't put any effort into promoting the stream today. I barely have the time today. I've got like quite a few errands to run, and the weather is absolutely gorgeous outside, which makes me happy. It's like, oh, I'm logging into Twitter for the first time and seeing replies to my replies about WPEngine and WordPress.
Yeah.
All right. So let's try this code. Inline. All right, we got it, I think. Oh, wait. I gotta change the order.
So I'm farther in industry. I think
so
I'm
glad
to
that you're
season 3.
it.
Yeah, I have to watch each episode like 3 times to like pay attention enough. Because I always watch it while I'm working, so I'll just like restart the episode like 3 times and then I move on. I just saw a tweet and it's like candles around a summoning circle. And it's like a Latina on Industry season 4, and that's why it was on my mind. So slay.
Writing some code. I am so grateful that I found industry. I was a little bored with films. I had been watching a lot of like foreign films and stuff like that, and I was kind of bored and like ready to watch a show. And it was a pretty interesting find. I had no idea from watching that first episode that it would become the show that it was. Like, I was completely like blindsided by not only the quality of the content, but like the character development, how beautiful it is. Seeing London, you don't see a lot of shows that happen in London either. So that was kind of cool for me. I haven't been there in a year. Super fire. So I'm so glad you're into it. I want to see you get into Rings of Power. You need to get
I know. I've heard that Rings of Power is good, and I've started it, and it's one of those that you gotta pay attention. You gotta pay attention because, like, I looked away for 2 minutes, and you're like, "Oh, did you see what happened with the crown?" And like,
yo,
no, I didn't see them flip over and stab that bitch in the back with one. I'm gonna rewind that.
Yo, for sure. I need to add an ID on this. Yo, for sure. You can't like industry you could let play in the background. Industry is tough because you got a lot of cuts. You got a lot of things happening with the characters, and some things are very small and nuanced, and if you miss it, you don't understand context. But in Rings of Power, it's the same way. Like, they're very long scenes, but yeah, you have to actually pay attention, and it's hard. Like, when you're out grinding, you want to work all the time. You no, you also need to let your brain calm the fuck down.
So real. Speaking of calming down and meditating and whatever, have you heard about the new moon that is just an asteroid that will be in Earth's orbit for the next few months?
I have no idea. Tell me everything.
So, it's an asteroid about the size of a school bus. It's named 2024 PT5. We can come up with a better name for it, though. And it's going to orbit Earth from September 29th to November 24th. And it's just temporary. People are calling it a mini moon, but it's just an asteroid. And the fact that it's the size of a school bus instead of like miles will probably mean that it's probably hard to see. But it will be here until November 24th. It's not going to maintain a stable orbit. It's close. It's about 1.5 million kilometers away from Earth. So, you know, mini moon.
That's a big deal. How do you think it's going to affect?
I don't know if it'll affect tides or anything, because like it's not big enough to do much. But also, like, I wonder how big the asteroid was that hit Earth that wiped out the dinosaurs. Like, how do we know that we're gonna be fine? It's the size of a fucking school bus. If it comes in, what's the impact of that? And the other problem is, like, it's only 37 feet wide, right? So unless you're a professional astronomer, or you have access to a powerful telescope, you won't be able to see it. It's too dim for amateur telescopes and binoculars. Yeah. Damn. It's hard out here. 30-inch telescope and a human eye will not be enough. That makes me so sad. I want to see it. I want to see it with my bare eyeballs. Alright. Yeah.
I know literally nothing about astrology. I don't know
astronomy,
astrology.
they used to be the same thing, right? Okay, so the study of stars like was all mixed in with how the stars affect people, but then
That's
as
good read.
science became more science, astronomy is the observational science study of stars, and astrology is the I'm a Capricorn.
Are you ready for me to bust your bubble by saying that two things? Even though my brand is a little black astronaut girl, I know nothing about astronomy. I know nothing about astrology. I know nothing
Wild.
about both of them. Okay. This still stands.
Goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I didn't realize this, but you get free access to 6 months of Audible, 4 months of Calm, 3 months of Office 365, which is a big one, and 1 month of BetterHelp for just paying for LinkedIn Premium, which I accidentally paid for. So I'm gonna cancel that today. But also, I'm gonna get my...
I wish. So, from what I understand, there's supposed to be a law that our legislatures are trying to pass where you're able to cancel any reoccurring fee with a simple click, with one click. And if companies don't adhere to that, then they are going to be in violation. And I think I think that's a big deal. Because like, for example, I needed to cancel Adobe. I don't use it at all, like at all. And it was such a huge, like I had to jump through 1,000 hoops to say like, bro, I don't want this anymore. Like I'm not using it. I haven't even opened the app in 8 months. You know what I mean? So like the LinkedIn, for example, like you should also have like a 72-hour reprieve from when you're billed for something to say, you accidentally built me and I just noticed it happened 2 days ago.
Right. But I
You know
didn't
what I
want
mean?
I didn't want to renew this. Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't always know right away either.
Facts. My prescription glasses are gonna get here tomorrow. Shout out to Zenny. I tried to get Zenny to sponsor me, but I couldn't figure out the gaming thing. The guy who works with the gaming influencers was like, "You should do it." But yeah. How's a hurricane? How's your avocados?
So I think what's really funny is like I didn't think to myself that the avocados would be projectiles if I didn't take them off of the tree. You've got some that are kind of like lower than my roof. And then you've got some that are pretty high. It's a really tall avocado tree. And I never thought to myself like, you might want to hop on a ladder and pull those avocados off because once the wind hits them, they could knock into your house. Which didn't happen, but I did lose some of my branches, and I don't give a fuck about the avocados. So if any of them were casualties of war, I appreciate it. Like fuck them bitches. And it's funny that anybody like who I know locally that knows that I have them, they ask about my avocados constantly, and it's like, fuck them avocados. Fuck them avocados.
Damn. It should have been me. I should have an
Oh,
avocado
that's so
tree.
funny.
Why do you get an avocado tree? You don't even like avocados. I didn't like
No.
avocados growing up because I was like, oh, guacamole, gross. And now I'm like, guac is my favorite thing ever. I love it so much. Don't listen to fucking childhood me. I didn't have taste. I used to eat chips with butter.
I remember at some point, like, just eating raw rice and raw pasta, being hungry. I used to put peanut butter, cinnamon, and sugar on Ritz crackers. Like, you're not alone out here. You're not alone out here. Eating wild shit.
Real.
Eating wild shit. I can't wait to try Cursor. Did I sign up for it? Let's see. Did I sign up for Cursor yet? Nope, but we about to. I am thinking about what I want to get from the grocery store right now.
Ooh.
What I want to have for dinner. I got like hella ripping and running to do. But I have fallen in love with like grocery shopping. Like grocery shopping again. Like I was like, so what happened was like I was like really like my list with not Publix, it's Instacart was perfect. It knows, you know, like what I order all the time. It suggests really like interesting things to me. But well, there's a couple things. There are things in the grocery store that are not on those apps, and then I was starting to feel really frustrated about the quality of my fruits and vegetables. I like to get fresh fruits and vegetables like every 3 days. And so they were forgetting things. It was like whatever. And so there's a really, really beautiful grocery store that's kind of like that I pass all the time. And then I finally started to just like go in there. And I'm just enjoying it. Like it's, you know, it's not like farm to fucking table, but I think that shopping with Instacart created such a disconnect for me from my food. And it became a utility. And like now going to the grocery store, my enthusiasm and my excitement about cooking and trying new things and like seeing what's in season and all that stuff has kind of changed a bit. So yeah. And I love to see that you've been cooking.
I have been cooking. I cut up onions and fucking fried them and burned them, but like on purpose. So I'm out here. You proud of me?
I am. Copy out. I am.
Yo, so what do you think about people that say using ChatGPT and similar programs is morally wrong because of the environmental impact of AI?
One could say the same about a fax machine or a copy machine. Those people
That's what I'm thinking too. Like that's what they said about crypto when it first came out was like the blockchain and the computing power just took so long, and then like after a year they had solved those computing problems. So I think it's just when stuff first emerges, it takes a lot of power. Just like when computers first happened, they took up whole rooms, you know? And I think it'll just get better over time. And I saw that Microsoft is purchasing a nuclear energy power plant to pay for all of the operating costs of ChatGPT because of their partnership with OpenAI. And ever since I was reading that article, I've started to get nuclear energy ads for like my...
Yo, you need to use DuckDuckGo, bro.
I know.
My stomach is like, Joy, coffee, no.
Oh,
man. We've had some interesting joins today. I'm just gonna shout some people out. Portia, thanks for pulling up. Hollywood, hello. Mr. Toomey, always great to see you. Brooke, we were supposed to do our podcast on Saturday. What happened? Let's reschedule. Let's get that going. And then, of course, Remo from Walk Like Us, thank you for pulling up on IG Live. Y'all are lit. I know that anytime that we go live, I get a DM like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but you sound like you know what you're talking about. Because we're so highly technical, and you know, we don't even realize it.
Goodness.
I'm glad that we streamed.
Yo, I'm so glad that we actually got up here and did it. I know that I'm not like the most expressive today. I was just focused on my own stuff, but I'm really glad we got out here and did it.
All right, whoever was paying attention, I did finally fix the reorder this plus. Let's see how it feels when I open it. All right, I'll add some padding in there. I need some padding on this plus size. What'd you say, guys? What'd you say? Left, right. Let's do a margin. Let's do some padding. No, maybe width on it. Just being able to like save this code before hopping in the V. Blessing.
Hell yeah.
That was my goal in life.
So, Spirit Halloween.
Yo, you know I don't give no fuck about no goddamn Halloween. I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it, bro.
Wow.
Yo. Do you even know what you're going to be?
No. I might be going to a wedding on Halloween as my friend's plus one. So there's that, but I have so many clothes, right? I don't need new clothes. And I feel like that is something that I regularly like I'll be like, oh, I gotta go to an event, buy new shit. But like I've gone to so many events, I have so much shit that I need to just like sit down and figure out what I'm gonna wear for the month of October, because it's like every single day I've got something different. Like October is my busiest season. So
shout out to Lindsay. Lindsay's already like, bro.
oh, Lindsay was sending me all of her outfits for when we were Young Fest this morning. So I was just like, oh my God, you have a day look and a night look for every single day already. So I need to do the same. But like goodness. Because we're gonna go to Meow Wolf or the Pop Punk Museum, or there's just like a lot of different stuff, and going to different shows. There might be an after party. We're also in Vegas, so like you never know what happens. But also like I want to go see the canyons. So there's a lot. There's a lot.
Interesting. 21 pixels. Why does this have a custom font size on it? It's possible. Sorry to be working off screen, y'all. This is what I'm doing. Looking at this tab group to see why. Oh, that's why. Why? There we go. I'm like, I solution this. You sure did, Joy, but you also overwrote it with some inline motherfucking CSS. I also need to change the color of this at some point. I accomplished my goal. Racing against the clock here. I would love to see the page that you had the LI issue when you're done, so I can take a look at what you were working on.
The LI issue? You talking about
list issue?
Oh, yeah.
The list? Yeah, it's called a list. Yeah.
No, I was just like, what are we referring to exactly? LinkedIn?
I need to change all my H4 colors. Is this in? All right, let's just save here. Let's save. And let's save this tab group for now. FAQ group. Save as preset. What we can call this preset? Big ass FAQ with plus. I don't think I can change the icon. There's lots of big ass. Like I use the word big ass like in my CSS like 50 times. It's like big ass footer, big ass H2, big ass hero.
I love that.
I need to be more professional with my markup. All right. I finished, y'all. Wait, let me show y'all. Let's hit view. And by the way, I was talking to Jay about Visual Composer earlier. So this is Visual Composer. So I was able to kind of like use this CSS editor. I did not edit my style sheet, y'all. I just edited the CSS for this specific element and just put it right in line here in the design panel, advanced panel. So there's custom CSS just for this element, which is nice. It only loads where this element loads, keeps the sites pretty light. And I'm so happy with it. I've got to work on the mobile when I get back to my desk, but change the height of this, but it's definitely closer to what I wanted to do. So thank everybody for watching. Real quick before I cut the stream, we did drop new hats at Clause and Code. I have one here. I didn't prior to this wear snapback caps. I put this on. I feel like Janet Jackson in Control. I fuck with it. I love that. I feel like all the male developers who have wanted to support and who join our stream, they finally have kind of like, they're like, oh my God, you're doing snapbacks. So yeah, I'm excited to have those. Kicking off, let me kind of center it on Twitter. No, it's gonna hate on me today. Streamlabs is like, it like updated and it's really kind of slow, and I'm gonna try not to complain about it, but it used to kind of respond to me like way more midstream, and now it's just like over us. Okay, there we go, guys. All right, I centered it on. Jay made me move it to the left. Okay, it's centered on Twitter. No, when you were showing your website, you're like, it's in the middle. I'm like, yeah, I kind of changed the scene that way. Jay and I were talking about also classifying our keyboards into different collections so that you can better like find them by like monochromatic, round keys, soft keys, sounds, that sort of thing. So I'll work on that this week. And then the only other really cool update is we're shipping internationally. So hit me up if you guys want a discount code or have any questions about what we're dropping next. Hit me up about that. But yeah, our hats and crop top tees are live on the website.
I'm so excited. They look great.
Thank you. I'm going to show our socials real quick. I love and appreciate you guys so much for pulling up, especially y'all who have been around since we started streaming. What was it, 3 months ago? We're such noobs.
We're wild, but I like it.
With no structure. It's just like, we're out here. So please follow Jay on Insta, Jay Austen, Twitter, Figma Antichrist, and Jay Creates on Twitch and TikTok. The portfolio site that we looked at today is a sneak peek. It is not live yet on jaustum.com, but as soon as it is, I will retweet it on Twitter, so you guys will see me talking about it. And then for me, I am Joi Jetson, Joi Jetson, everywhere.
Cute.
Easy to find. Any last words?
Thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate y'all. I honestly can't even find the window that we're streaming in.
That's okay. I love that you're being so productive. It's like when I'm yelling at you on FaceTime.
I love it. We love getting yelled at on FaceTime. Sometimes that's what we need. I had 3 people call me to wake me up this morning, and that's community.
I was on you. But you're being productive, and you're meeting with bigwigs. We'll talk about it once something's formalized.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
For sure.